Hey everyone, we're here today to show, it's going to be a quick video to show how to upgrade your Pinbox or your Nucore machine to the RFM 2.0 update that Apple Juice put out. His name is Jim, I believe. He has a website called mypinballs.com, mypinballs.com. I'll put a link to it in my my notes on my blog and all that. So what he did was he added some things into RFM 2.0 or Revenge from Mars. He calls it Revenge from Mars 2.0. So if you go to mypinballs.com, there's a link right down here for the RFM download. So if you click on that, you'll see on the bottom, that it's downloading. So it's downloaded. That's this file right here called pin2000 underscore 570 dash 0 or underscore 02 executable exe. So now we're going to download that. I have a memory stick in my computer already. If I go to my computer here, there's my drives right here. This G right here, empty G. That is the memory stick, and I'm filming this with a video camera. I know you're probably going to get the lines from the display and all that, but I don't feel like setting up and downloading it through the computer and having to stream it back and convert it over. It's just easier to do it through the camera for this video, for the purposes of what I'm doing. So I'm going to take this file that downloaded down here, the pin2000 570 file, and I'm going to just grab it. Oops. Gonna grab it here, drag it to my desktop. I already had it on my desktop. Let me minimize this window so I could see it. Right here, grab it and bring it to, I'll grab it. I created a new folder on my memory stick, this G folder called new folder. I'm gonna bring it into that because I have to unzip it or unzip it so all the files come out, but it's an exe to unzip the file. So basically now I have it in this folder on my memory stick. I'm going to double click on it. It's deflating the files. So it gives you all these files, the boot data, game ROM, pub, like 6 files in here. And these 2 files over here, this game list and DW sync, which I don't think they're really used for anything in the game itself. So now I have this. So what I'm going to do now is take these files, bring it over to the Unix box. I think it's Ubuntu from the Pincore side that's in the RFM when you created it. Bring these files over and show you in Unix where these files go and how you go about it to install the game and have it execute and play the proper way. So let's go to the Unix box and see how that works. Alright, so here we are at the Unix box, and we're looking at the screen of this. So what I'm going to do now is put the memory stick that we took the files from the Windows PC side, and take that memory stick and put it into this computer. Alright, so I put the memory stick in. It's going to come up with a window that says, do you want to, open this in File Manager? I hit OK. So this is now the window of the memory stick of what we have from the PC side. So I'm going to click on New Folder because that's where I unzipped all those files. So you can see Pin2000. There's 6 files here there's really 8 or 9, but we just want to use these 6. These 3 and these 3. So what we need to do now is go and find the folder of where the Pinbox files reside on this Unix box at this point. So what you want to do is if you right click on your screen here and you go to desktop preferences. Now this is in my Ubuntu. I don't know about everybody else's, but this is the version I have. If you go to desktop preferences and you click advanced, you hear show menus provided by Windows Manager when desktop is clicked. Click on that and hit close. And what you're going to do now, if you right click, you're going to see a folder or a file here called applications. You want to go to browser. So go to browser. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not browser. It's this one, PC Man FM. This is like the browser, the file browser within Unix. So if you click on that, you want to go to Pinbox, you want to go to Update, RFM_15, and clear all this out. Just highlight it like with your mouse. Hold your mouse button, do the marquee around it. Right click on it, hit delete. Hit yes. Now, let's go back to our memory stick window, which is here, new folder it's called. We want to take these 6 files here. All the ones that say pin 2000 _ 5007. This was our executable, so we don't need that. Oops, hit cancel. We don't need this one. We need these 6. So I'll grab these 3. And again, it's all the data ones. And bring it over to our window where the RFM_15 folder is. And grab these 3. So now you should have 6 files within this window. And it's, the symbols, SF, pub, IM, game, boot data. So now all those files are within the RFM_15 folder within Unix. So let's close out of that. Close our memory stick window. So now there's another folder we need to go to. And if we right click again, go to Applications and go to PC Man FM, go to Root, you go to Pinbox. I think it's Save Data. It's ROMs. It's this one. It's ROMs. So it's, let's go back to that. It's Pinbox, ROMs, Save Data. Now these are all like the files that save your data, like high scores and all that. You want to clear all the NVRAMs out. So you want to clear these 3 out. It all ends with NVRAM. Delete it. Hit yes. And then up on top here you have these 2. Oops. Highlight them again. Hit delete. Yeah. So now you should be left with 6 files in this window. All the NVRAMs are gone. So delete it or exit out, and that's it. That's all you should need to do. Now just a couple tips of, and I'm not a big Unix guy. I'm not really totally familiar with Unix. I mean, I could get around it somewhat and all that. If you boot your computer and you go into the startup screen within the RFM, like when you boot it at your desk, if you hit the F1 key on your keyboard, it'll bring you out of that back to this main menu. So that's kind of what you want to do. Now there's also another trick that I think I've found too. If you, again, right click and go back to this PC Man, if you don't want it to boot ever into your RFM side, I think if you go to Pinbox, you go to config, oh no, I'm sorry, it's scripts. So you go to Pinbox, scripts. Like these files right here, this auto start, Pinbox, and Pinbox init, these 3, I want to say are the ones that cause it to boot into that that menu where you could pick either Star Wars or Revenge from Mars. And how I stop doing that, or if like I ever want to boot this, I'll boot into it, hit the F1 key, get back into this screen, and then at the end here I'll take these 3 files and I'll go to rename, and at the end of it I just type .old. So now that's called .old. Call this one .old, and you can see that the icon kind of changes to a different kind of like question mark. And then so you got that one, and this init maybe. I'm kind of guessing it's one of these 3 that cause your thing to restart, to boot into that menu. Hit .old. So now I booted into that. So now to reboot, I had to get my files up of what I used as my sudo command. So now if you go to Applications again and go to LX Terminal, in here, if you want to reboot your machine without killing it, well, you could actually do it. If you're in this screen here and you could see everything, if you right click here and hit exit, you get this menu where you could restart, reboot, shut down, all that kind of stuff. But if you're not in this and you can't get to the menu, if you go to this terminal here, I think if you type sudo shutdown -R now, it should reboot your computer. So it's sudo space shutdown space -R space now. So see, now it's going to restart the machine. So now it should boot us back in and not boot into that the screen, you know, for Star Wars or Revenge from Mars. But let's see. These are just like other tips to do. I know people were kind of questioning it and asking about it. So let's see. And then we're going to take the .old off of it and see if it boots back into that stuff. So now it should just stay on this screen right now. And you might get it where the resolution gets messed up. You might have to go and do this with that .old to not have the resolution switch on you. Because it might go to like 640 by 480, and then you can't see a lot of crap when you're doing this. So yeah, so it seems like that's happened. So if we go back to applications, go to this PC man thing. Then we go back to Pinbox, scripts, and then we go back to rename, take the .old off this stuff here, hit OK. Now you see the icon change back. Rename, changes back, and go to rename. It changes back. So now they're back to the way they were. So again, let's try that again. Let's reboot the machine. This time I'll just go to exit and I'll reboot from here, since you know the command line if you want to do it through a terminal. So now we're going back. Now it should boot into the menu screen of AFM or RFM and Star Wars. And that's saying it because I have the memory stick still in the machine. So I'll say cancel. So yeah, see, so now it boots back into the screen of what to select for what game. So now if we're in this screen, see how everything changes to 640 by 482. It gets really big. So now if we hit the F1 key on our keyboard, it'll take us out of here, bring us to this screen. And now if I right click on it and go to applications and go to PC Man, you see how the window's over here now? You got to bring it in and all that. So at this point, if you want to get it, there might be a command to change the resolution. The way I do it, again, I go to Pinbox, go to Scripts, and I change the Auto Start, the Pinbox, and this Pinbox underscore init, and Pinbox to .old, so that doesn't boot in the beginning. That's just a little tip to do. And that's really it. And now, if you launch this or go on your, hook this back up to your machine in your RFM, it should work with the 2.0, deleting those files and installing those files, those 6 files, into that folder. So give it a shot, see how it goes. I'll have all this documentation online. Applejuice Jim, he, I believe, put these notes online on Pinside, and also there's another website I know out there too. I have to kind of look to see what that is. But I'll put his notes in my blog as well, so you have the notes as well to go by. But also you'll have this video as a video tutorial to see this in action. So let's bring the machine downstairs. I'll launch it. I'll install it back into my machine and just see if it works. But it should. I don't see why not. So again, let's get out of this. Right click. See, now you probably won't get that menu because it's so big that the menu's somewhere out here. But again, if we go to but now if you go to exit that way, you can't get to terminal because now the machine is kind of frozen. So I'm going to have to hard boot it off. So let's bring the machine downstairs, give it a shot, and see how it works out. Okay, so here we are in front of the game. I put the computer back in. So let's go and turn it on. And see if the game boots. So I'll have my pinballs, the UFOs in there that spin with the lights. He created those, I know, at one point. So the computer is booting. Okay, and then if we go to Revenge from Mars, launch it, let's see, because he put a new light show in the beginning too. I know we could go to version checker, but you'll know by there's like a light show that kind of swirls around that he created. So let's see, once it goes into that, yeah, like that one. So yeah, so 2.0 is on that because that's a new light show that he created, that one that kind of spins like that, I know. He had that on his website. So it looks like 2.0 is loaded on here with what I showed in the video. Do it at your own risk. I take no responsibility for anything that happens to anybody's game or computer or whatever. Just kind of showing how I got it to work. I don't know if it's going to work for everybody that way, but it's just a kind of a visual to what the directions were that were posted online. So it does help to know a little bit of Unix when you do this, just to kind of get around the computer and all that, but give it a shot, see how it goes. It looks like there's some cool stuff in this update. Thanks to Jim for doing this. Donate to his site at mypinballs.com. I'm going to give him a donation as well if he keeps updating almost a 20-year-old game. I think that's great. Adds a little new life to the game. I appreciate it. So again, thanks for watching my videos. Really appreciate it. Thanks to all the subscribers. I've gotten about 15 to 20 new subscribers within this month, which is great. Thank you. And also on Instagram and on Twitter. Instagram, I've been getting a lot of new subscribers as well. It's awesome to see. And again, my website, www.pinballsupernova.com. And again, it links to all the pages of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, my blog, and everything else under my site. I appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. Talk to you soon.